fans, welcome back everyone, welcome back to another week, another season, another edition of the StarCraft Evolution League number 16, or Open Cup number 16. I'm of course just VIP with you. I'm joined by these amazing players, by the people in chat, and by my plushies as well. It has been far too long. For those that are curious, StarCraft Evolution, the StarCraft Evolution League specifically, has been on a hiatus. It's been on a very long hiatus for a month, 2 months. It's been a while. It's been a while since the main championship did conclude, and since we had some downtime here, and since we've had our off season of StarCraft Evolution League of SEL. Part of the reason for that as well is, of course, I've been working on things behind the scenes, working on the alpha, if not beta version of the StarCraft Evolution ladder, and also working on the upcoming patch as well. Something that did kind of catch the at least organizers or the people working, the developers working on StarCraft Evolution, was the StarCraft 2 patch that did go live, that did change quite a bit, introducing the new map pool and of course changing a bunch of core units, and that does of course throw balance into flux and kind of up into the air in regards to specifically StarCraft Evolution. SC Evo. For those that may be tuning in for the first time, StarCraft Evolution is of course a Brood War versus SE2. It is a mod. It is a mod that has been worked on quite heavily. There's been a lot of work, a lot of passion kind of infused into this mod, and honestly it's a lot of fun. And again, they put a lot of work into balancing it as well, and to trying to maintain kind of the core aspects of Brood War, maintain that identity of course, and try to translate that into StarCraft 2. On top of that, over the past almost 2 years at this point, it has been slowly gaining traction amongst the pro players, with interest from some European players and interest from some Korean players as well. I would say that some more Koreans have gotten into it post EWC. So recently we had, I would say relatively recently, we had creators stepping into StarCraft Evolution. We had Solar, especially after the Merlot King and Chijik tournament. Solar, he has been playing a lot more SC Evo as well. Cure comes to mind, and Rogue alongside them. So those are kind of like the newest kind of like the newest foray of pro players that have tried and dipped their toes into SC Evo and are looking to potentially stay around for the long haul as well, which is really cool, which is really exciting. And now we have the beginning of the new season of StarCraft Evolution League. The championship hasn't been announced yet, but typically these SCL events do lead up into the championship. This is the first one in a long time, and we even have the second one this weekend as well. So we're here, we are back. Let's go, baby, let's go. See, I know that a lot of people have been asking for more StarCraft Evolution. It's just, again, they've been on hiatus, but now we can jump headfirst in. Headfirst. Ay. Just catching up in the chat. Hello, Acris. Hello. ¿Qué tal? ¿Cómo estás? I see baby links in the chat. I see, God, 3-6. God. Turkish. I can't do my best. Share, man. Ay. Turkish. That's it. Something around that line, around those lines. Polish for 3-6. I'll learn one day. I see Peon in the chat as well, and of course Bienvenidos to some more SC Evo. Now, there was a request in the chat. Typically we do focus on the quarterfinals onwards for covering the StarCraft Evolution League, but Akis did request Prome versus Iosup from the round of 32, stating that it was potentially even the best series of the tournament. So you know what? I trust your judgment. If you want to jump into Prome versus Iosup, you know what? We'll go into it here as our first series of the broadcast. I don't know what I'm going to be stepping into. Now, Prome is one of the best Protoss players in StarCraft Evolution. He's still below some of the more established players like Creator or Classic or Hero or even Skilless, for example. But when it comes to the Korean Protoss, like, I do place him quite highly alongside players like Rebellion, for example. And Lunacy, like Prome, Lunacy, Rebellion, they're around a similar skill level here. Meanwhile, when it comes to Iosup, if you know anything about, or if you've been watching the podcast, then you would know that Iosup has been improving quite a lot over the past I want to say recent weeks, if not maybe the past month, maybe the past 2 months, it's been surprising to see the growth of Iosup. Just out of nowhere, specifically in the CIS region, he's been improving a lot, getting better and better results, even taking it to some of the more established players as well. So we've had a very quick and a very fast growth period here for Iosup, and we'll see how that translates to Brood War or to StarCraft Evolution. Let's go. Let's go. Let us find out. As we are going to be jumping into game number 1, it's going to be on Keras Passage. The other exciting thing, of course, as we enter a new season is a new ladder map pool as well. So this is a map that I've never experienced before. I don't really know what I'm getting into, and we're about to find out together. Here we go. Spawning in the top left-hand corner of Keras Passage SEL, we have the pink Protoss player, the pink Protoss himself, representing among SSU people, the South Korean Protoss. It is a prome. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have the red Zerg player representing 3D Clan. It is Iosup. Oh boy, welcome on to Keras Passage. Keras Passage is an older StarCraft map that looks like has been adjusted and changed slightly to be a little bit more balanced for StarCraft Evolution. Interesting for us either. Interesting decision. I still don't really know the rationale. I wonder if it's related to like sponsors or Patreon backers when it comes to deciding which maps do get ported and do get updated. For example, it was last season that we had Purity in Industry. Like out of nowhere, it's like, what? it's like why was this made? Why was this ported? So I don't really know what goes behind the decision making, and this is another one that kind of catches me off guard here to see randomly Keras Passage. Now when it comes to our initial map setup, where they very open natural, Jesus. So we have our natural base. It is very open, very accessible. This does look, and it does give credence to 2 base all-ins. We can see Prome does pylon block the initial natural, and he even pylon blocks the third expansion. That's the only third base option, by the way. Expanding forward here, you are so far away, and there are so many attack paths coming into that forward third. Meanwhile, the base on the left hand side, it looks a little bit more secure, but likewise it's very spread out as well. The path to that third base is vulnerable. This looks like an old map. Hold on, is this like a Heart of the Swarm map? Like, what is, like, this is wild. Keras Passage, use an SC Evo, Base Rate TV, map test tournament number 2. This was in 2017. Okay, so this map was made back in 2017, was made quite some time ago. Looks like Keras Passage never made it into the main ladder map pool, was more of like a TLMC map basically. Yeah, that's. I mean, I know that Hyper One is very close to the map maker community, so he would have to be to get his hands on Keras Passage of all maps, just because this map is so old and so unknown specifically. Because I say this is TLMC. I don't even think this was a part of TLMC. Crazy. You know, Lings, they collapse on this. Iosup forced to expand here towards left hand side, so he's going to be forced to expand linearly. Pylons did complete, so that's going to be dead pylons here for Prome. Behind this, remember, Prome, he is going for a Stargate opener. Very interesting. Stargate openers are very uncommon here in this matchup. Scouts are not the most reliable defensive tool, especially up against an all-in, so we'll see how well Prome can handle himself. For now, he's going to be able to hunt down overlords and deny vision as he sets up back at home, getting to his stack of choice, going for a second Stargate. Okay. Here we go. Muy bien, con esas. Bien, papi, bien. Recién comí mi desayuno. I'm full of energy. But the Destroyer Overlord is going to be hunted down. Again, Iosup is joining, Iosup is saturating, building up in his 3 bases. Close, yeah, close enough, close enough. We got there. So a couple of things here. One, because the Overlord just got sniped, it means that Iosup cannot get into the main, which means he will not be able to scout the second Stargate and the mass scout that is going to be building up here. If you're a little bit unfamiliar, the scout is, I mean, I just kind of gave reference to the Void Ray. The scout has really nice anti-air. It does have a decent, as a result, it does have a decent role when it comes to anti-air. Not as amazing as a Corsair, for example, but you know, it has its place. And I believe the scout was even buffed in the latest patch just because of how poorly it was performing against mass muta, so its uses and its play has been increased. Meanwhile, we do snipe one of the queens. I see that, I believe it 3-shot drones. Yeah, 3 shots. So it does 3-shot workers. 2 drones going to be going down, diving on the queen. Second queen has arrived, and so far we do manage to get some decent damage here, getting up to 4 drone kills. Yeah, 4, 5, 6 drones going down. Bearing in mind there's no recall. Remember, there is no recall, so these scouts have to be even more careful when it comes to escaping. They do pick up another Overlord. Another Overlord goes down, more scouts have arrived. Hunting down even more Overlords, getting 3, getting up to 4 Overlords. Supply blocking Iosup. Okay, let's go. Does supply block. Meanwhile, Iosup himself going into Burrow. Remember, Iosup is playing the SC2 Zerg side. Prome is playing the Brutal Protoss side as he's going from Mass Scout into Charge, or into Zealot Legs specifically, as Charge doesn't exist. So we're going into Zealot Legs, going into potentially Storm as a follow-up as well. So Prome is switching into a ground army, and so far he's done well for himself. Looking at the Unisloth tab here, getting 4 Overlords, getting a Queen, getting 6 drones. This is good damage. Can we find more? Can we find more as Overlords are forced to be pinned back? I will say there are some exposed Overlords here, and considering the anti-air burst damage of the scouts, we can hunt down some of these Overlords. Like, again, they're a little bit too careless in their placement, and we'll see if Prome does take advantage of this opportunity. Yeah, speaking of, he sees him. Does spot the Overlords. He stacks up. And he 2-shots. Yeah, he 2-shots the Overlords. Gets one. There's a transfuse. Despite that, 2 Overlords do go down. Nice pickups. So it does catch 2 more Overlords. Behind this Prome, he is switching into, remember, his High Templar building up. Research, still no research on Storm, bear that in mind. Also, it looks like Burrow was only researched from the side of Iosup to save his workers. It is a very fun, very niche way to save your units here, but you can technically Burrow to hide them. Oh, but the Queen does go down. We'll trade. Gets one of these scouts. Gets 2. Yeah, miscontrol out of Prome. He does overextend. Throws away 2 of those scouts, and Burrow is not being used. Oof. Yeah, Pappy, we researched Burrow. We can use that, Pappy. Aye, aye, aye. Catching more Overlords. At this point, does 3-shot. Yeah, 3 shots to Overlords. Oh my god. Denying the Overseer. And this again, this was on Iosup. We did criticize his Overlord placement at the time. His Overlords were very exposed. That is on the Zerg player. Could have been pulled further. Even now, they're still exposed, by the way. Like, they're still out in the open here. They're still vulnerable. Jesus. I mean, at this point, the scout count is low enough where he should be okay, but yeah, I would say a little bit careless when it comes to that placement. Specifically referencing that they aren't necessarily protected by spores. Stormy follows up with his initial charge timing. Storm was never researched, so it looks like it's just going to be Archons. So there's Archon supports as Legs diving on top of the Queens. Hydras are still on the way, and even if they pop out, so there's the barge. Finally Barge is utilized, but the army has arrived, and we can just keep pushing. At this point, Iosup should not be able to hold on. He's losing more Overlords. Zealots take it into the mineral line. They dive on top of the Queen. Again, we can try to Burrow to save some units here, but the main army cannot be dealt with. Not like this. Oh, there's the Burrow. There's the Burrow in the mineral line. Again, saving what he can. And Hydras are slowly amassing. Okay. Hydras are building up. Oof. A nice kiting here against the Zealots. Very nice Sim City here at Iosup as well. Very quick reaction to set up here on the high ground. Very nice. Otherwise, he would be dead. Like, that would have been the death of everything then and there, but he does barely hold on. Very impressive, very quick moves. But Prome is not done. Prome is still rallying. Still rallying across. Now he's going for the third base. Again, the third base is isolated. Drones are going to Burrow. Oh, good. Well, now we got a barrack. And again, prome, he's just overrunning. At this point, he can just aim move, man. He can just aim move across the map. The expansion will fall. Now, no spells available here yet. So there we go. Storm is on the way. That is going to be a secure way to deal with these borrowed units. Technically, the Archons could deal with this as well, or with some inadvertent splash damage. Yo, we got some Lunkers on the way, man. Got 2 Lurkers on the way here from Iosup. And he can try to hold on. The observatory's on the way. Currently, there is no detection. So, Lurkers, they can hold their own for a time and try to defend the natural. But that's all they can really achieve here. And even then, we may even just see prome ignore them and just rush in. What's the plan? He's tempted. Tempted to commit, but will back off, will pull away, getting us forward third base. Again, Storm is finishing up, which means he can't even storm this position. Here comes the Observer. The upgrade I'm a little bit less familiar with, but it looks like maybe Calderan Amulets, and it looks like it might be the energy upgrade for the High Templar. So now we back up. If you recall, a bunch of new art and asset pieces were added to the mod. That was like the last patch, I want to say, maybe 2 patches ago. And there are a bunch of like art assets that I have not seen before, so I did. But they did remake a bunch of them. I could be mistaken. I thought they remade the +1 attack, +1, +2, and +3 attack as well, but maybe for only the other races, maybe not for Protoss. K-Darren, not Calderan. There you go. K-Darren Amulets. Yo, we got Dragoon range on the way. And here we go. Now prome is coming in for the kill. Remember, he has Storm this time, and he has Detection. The Observer has arrived. Detection is available. Remember, the one reason why he couldn't end the game earlier was because there was no Observer, right? So you had to wait for the Observer. Oh, no! There we go. The Storms do land. Oh, it does throw away 2 at Tempo, which weren't able to land a single Storm, though. Yeah, but here we go. The army does collapse in. No Overseer, so there's nothing to contest against the Observers. This is also just run past. And prome, he can still just move back. And GG. GG. Prome, he will... Oh, we get a nice little art asset here as well. That's new. I have not seen that before, but GG, well played. Prome, he will take game number 1. We have a nice new victory screen with the Protoss Broodlord logo. That's nice. I appreciate it. GG. GG. GG, well played. Prome will take lead in the series. Again, Iosup, he had a really rough start to the game when it came to building up his own bases, when it came to being forced to expand at a more exposed location on the linear side, on the left-hand side of his natural base. So a really rough start there for Iosup. On top of that, he had a really rough response against the initial commitment into scouts. If you recall, his overlords were misplaced and he was losing a lot of overlords. Likewise, he resourced Borrow, which was really cool, but it took him a long time to use it. It definitely could have been used earlier to micro and to actually preserve his queens instead of losing 3-4 queens early on. The upgrade was done in time to save them, but again, just wasn't utilized until halfway, if not towards the end of the game. So there was a bit of miscontrol there from Iosup, and likewise didn't necessarily respect the threat of the mass scout either early on. So it does look like maybe a bit of a learning experience there from Iosup when it comes to playing against his style, and we'll see if Prome does something a little bit different or if he commits into the same opener as we load into game 2. Game 2 is going to be on Vermeer. Let's go. Let us go. There we go, and spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Vermeer, we have the pink Protoss player, the pink Protoss himself, the South Green Protoss, representing among SC2 people leading the series 1-0. It is Prome. playing StarCraft 2 Protoss and spawning in the right hand corner, going for a 12 pool. We have the Brood War Zerg player. We have the blue Zerg representing 3D Clan. It is Iosup. Here we go. And also a big shout to Ariup in the chat for the 100 bits. Gracias, gracias. Animo, amigo. Gracias, gracias. Do appreciate the support, do appreciate the love. Hope you enjoyed the content, the casting of the StarCraft. Hope you enjoy. As again, we are going for the 12 pool. Iosup, he's going to commit. First things first, we're looking for our opponents. Remember, this is a 4-player spawn map. So Iosup, he scouts up, but he scouts top left. Meanwhile, Prome, he does scout bottom left. So we're scouting each other. We're trying to find each other. The Overlord is making its way here towards the bottom right-hand corner of the map. And the 12 pool is upon us. Lings are about to flood. We might even pull the boys alongside this. So if you pull the boys, Prome does head top right. You can see his vision. He is aware of one of the 2 spawn locations. This is something I should very quickly mention here, is that in StarCraft Evolution, there are 4-player spawn maps, but you are aware of at least 2 of them instead of having to check all 3. Meanwhile, there we go. It does confirm the boys are being pulled. It's all or nothing for Iosup. He's going for the 12 pool drone pool. Prome back at home. He responds with a full wall and with what should be cannons. Forge is on the way. He throws in the Forge. The Zealot is going to pump out. But again, this is still going to be a rough defense. Oh. There's things that collapse in. There's a secondary wall. Jesus. Yeah, drone drilling on the pylon taking a lot of damage. The first Zealot has arrived, but again, there's only one pylon powering everything. Oh no, there's only one pylon. Yeah, I don't think he notices. Yeah, he does not notice. The pylon goes down, depowers everything, and now there's nothing to defend. There's nothing, only one Zealot. The Artosis pylon, baby. Ay, ay, ay. And Iosup is done. He has broken the natural, breaks into the main base, and with that, there is only one Zealot to defend. We got one Zealot, we got one cannon on the way. Oh no, the Zealot gets surrounded. Zealot gets surrounded. The Zealot instantly goes down. And from here, Iosup has done it. The Lings, they bust into the mineral line. The cannon's doing what it can as well. A lot of drones are falling, and we have some nice hold position micro here on top of the cannon, but at the same time, hold position micro out of the Lings as well. And with that, GG. With that, GG. Well played, as Iosup does take game number 2. And there's the Zerg logo. Yeah, do appreciate it. It's very gooey. Interesting. Very good. But GG, well played. With that, Iosup does have the series. We'll pass on real quick as we enter game number 3 as we head into the ace match. Winding it back, sorry, what I was getting at is that specifically in StarCraft Evolution, for these 4-player spawn maps, you do get pinged at the beginning of the game, and basically the pings remove one possible spawn location. So that does make it easier to scout your opponents. Prome did scout. He did scout the follow-up. He did scout what was coming his way. Unfortunately, his response was a little bit lackluster. Again, his low ground, he didn't really have much there to hold on. He had the one pylon which was exposed, which went down instantly, and once it went down, I mean, that was game then and there. Sure, there was a cannon on the way in the main base. Didn't help that the first Zealot got surrounded. There's a chance that maybe if Prome didn't get that first Zealot surrounded, maybe if he was able to wedge it in the main base mineral line, then maybe it's a different game. Maybe he does hold, maybe he does defend the cannon, and we have a different kind of outcome. But GG. GG, well played. With that, we're going to be getting into game number 3. We're going to be loading into the ace match here. Going to be loading into Sylphid for that 3rd and final game. Let's go. Here we go. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Sylphid. Bearing in mind, this is a 3-player spawn map. We have the Brood War Protoss player. We have the South Korean Protoss representing among SC2 people. It is a Prome. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the blue Zerg player, the blue Zerg player himself representing 3D Clan. It is Iosup. Here we go. I see Hellodale talking about the scouts. Scouts were not supposed to be Brood War's worst units. Specifically, the scout was changed to actually be viable. Previously, it was a little bit more, as we're going for a cannon rush, by the way. We're going for a cannon rush, and we are setting up here on the low ground. It looks like Prome has found his opponents. Yeah, he has. Blocking the natural, setting up for the cannon rush here at the new unnatural natural location, but specifically winding it back a little bit. The scout anti-ground attack was pretty pitiful initially, and the issue with that meant that Stargate openers were not really viable because you could just all in, and the scout anti-ground damage was too low to the point where you just couldn't defend, right? Again, that's why I was comparing it to a Void Ray, where a Void Ray is, at least can be a defensive tool in that kind of situation with a Stargate opener. But that was not the case in StarCraft Evolution. The Scout just wasn't really up to par. So they did decide to increase its anti-ground attack to make it more viable as a defensive tool if you do decide to open up Stargate. Just to make it an option, a viable option. Without it, honestly, robo openers are very common and were dominating the meta. It was very stale when it comes to just the amount of openers and builds that you had available. Even nowadays, I would say the Stargate openers aren't really necessarily seen too often, but really cool to see a cannon rush here, getting on top of the base, and not just that, but also trying to wall in Iosup into his own main. There's a cancellation. And this is a pretty big investment, right? What did it cost to cancel the expansion? 2 cannons, 1 pylon, sorry, 3 cannons, 2 pylons, soon to be 4 cannons, and a gateway as well. This is a big investment. And the scary thing here is that this is not Brood War Zerg, this is SC2 Zerg. There are ways to break out. If you can get into a lair, if you can get into your own Nidus play, Drop Lord play with a lair, of course, or even just getting into Ravagers and then breaking out with Biles. It is not impossible to break out of this contain with your Ravagers. So it is going to be a matter of time before Iosup can break out. For now, he's looking for his opponent, still has a drone out on the map as well, and we'll see how Prome does deviate from here. He's proxying his Cybercore. Oh, okay. Cybercore is being proxied, which means we might even proxy. Do we have proxy a Stargate? I don't really see that working here. We could go into one base Reaver. I think that would make the most sense against Ravager play, but we'll see. So it gets to the mineral line, gets one drone. Just one. Oh, guess who? 2 drones go down, roaches are revealed. Stargate? Double Stargate. Bold move. Okay, we're going double Stargate. Hey, we were just discussing the scouts and comparing it and talking about it. It's, geez, the Stargates are across the map. We're just discussing their anti-ground damage and how that has been improved. As you saw, it takes 3 shots to kill a worker, so less damage than like an Oracle, for example. As, of course, 2 Oracles, 1 shot. But hey, they can have their way with these Ravagers. We can see that Iosup is slowly breaking out. Again, with these Ravagers, he should be able to eventually break down every single cannon here. We need more than just cannons to slow this down. Let's get another cannon. We have mass scouts that's building up. Okay, we're down to 2 cannons. Now, is there a world after we break out of this? I don't know if there's really much reason for Iosup to actually rush. Oh, sorry, he scouted the Stargates. Okay. I was gonna say I don't know if there's much reason for him to ignore this and then just rush in towards the Stargates after he kills cannons. But we'll see. Ooh, as he does lose 1 Ravager, a bit of miscontrol there out of Iosup. Lose Ravager. He breaks down the final cannon. Scouts have arrived, but here come the Queens. Ooh, no transfuse. No transfuse. Queens, they do hold their own. Now, the scary thing about these scouts is that if this position is broken, that's game, right? There's nothing at home. There's nothing back at home. And Iosup, he does have a proxy in the main base. Iosup breaks out. Roaches are being produced. Ooh, Iosup is supply blocked. Yeah, rough time to be supply blocked. Remember, there's nothing at home. Yeah, plows on the cannons. Oof. Cannons are brought down. The production's going to be depowered. And the roaches are coming. They're backing up. Ooh, pylons are stacked. Jesus. Yeah, pylons are stacked. You can see the scouts will eventually kill this army, but eventually. Ooh. As we're not going for the pylon. Happy. There we go. Okay, Pylon goes down, depowers the Stargates. At the same time, Roaches is still amassing. We do see that Prome, he does spot it. Did he notice? Did he notice the hatchery in his own main? Yeah, I think now he does. But it's too late. The Roaches, they waddle in. They head into the mineral line. And probes are being focused down. Yeah, it does deny any kind of mining. Probe got to make a decision. He's racing back home to defend. This does give Iosup the opportunity to expand himself. True. He's 3-shotting Roaches, okay, with 4. 3-shotting the probes, they do turn back around. And the hatchery's being left alone, which means we can just still keep like proxying Roaches. They can just continue. No. This time you can see the overlords are parked over the spore. So Iosup, he's learned. Has learned from the previous games. Oh, clutch chance use. Clutch chance use. One spore does go down. He's going straight for the queens. We'll lose 1. We'll lose 2 scouts. Oh, it drags into more spores. The second scout does fall. Roaches, they once again get into the mineral line. They get in. And these scouts are getting out of hand. They're getting out of hand. He's going to be able to focus on all these spores. Most of them. Looks like 2 of them will finish. He's going to be trading. Does trade once again. 0 economy back at home. Oof, as he's going to lose another scout. Another scout goes down, and potentially another. Barely does pull away. And with all those dead queens, with the dead spores, I believe Prome, he should be able to pull this off. It is getting close. Ooh, we're losing. Nice retarget firing. Yeah, nice target firing. Iosup, he does focus on 1, 2 more scouts. Ooh, 3 more scouts. Down to 3. Spores are finishing and he cannot defend. At the same time, we do see another roach in the mineral line. Prome, he's broke. He's broke, papi. And this just comes down to Prome refusing to deal with this hatchery. I understand some of the logic here. Because he wasn't focusing on this hatchery, it means that, or because he was across the map, it means that Iosup could never expand. I feel like he could have, but again, Prome chose not to deal with this. I mean, scouts aren't really known for destroying buildings. There we go. Finally, but this is after so much economic damage has been done. Prome down to 9 workers. His economy is worse than his opponents. So Prome was punished quite hard. Look how much damage these 3 scouts are doing. Honestly, back when he had 6 scouts, he could have dealt with this so easily. Like, it wouldn't have taken that long. So again, that is on Prome. He chose not to deal with this. He suffered as a result. His economy is in the gutter. Iosup is getting into his own lair and building up in towards, I would imagine, Hydra Tech. As roaches are on the way. Lair is finishing up. Iosup can expand. I don't think we need to go for a ninja base, but sure. I mean, actually, Ninja Base does make sense here, just because there's so little map control here for Iosup, and because technically the scouts could deny the expansion. So we'll hide his base, top right. Does hide the expansion. Creep has been spreading this entire time. Why are the base locations so weird? What do you mean? It's standard? It's a 3-player small map, if that's what you're referring to. So you can spawn in top side, bottom left, or bottom right. So locations are where they should be. There we go. It is going to be into 2-base Hydra. From Saving Grace is how hard it is for SC2 Zerg to get their anti-air on the map. Kind of. Like, we're going into Hydras here. Technically, the alternative would be to go for a Nidus across the map and throw down spores aggressively in the main base as well. Like, there are other ways to kind of approach this problem and approach this situation. With a heavy queen count, of course. But from here, Iosup, he's droning, he's saturating. Getting further ahead economically. Prome has yet to expand, and it looks like he's trying to switch into ground, but again, his gateway is so late. He has to get a gateway, then his cyber core, and it's... Technically, in Prome's mind, he may think that he could macro out of this and expand, just because he doesn't know that there is a second expansion. Was the Zerg base on the other side? Yeah, it was a proxy. So building more Hydras. So far we have 12, so it'll be 14 Hydras out for Iosup. When he moves out, we can, I was gonna say we can leapfrog our spores forward because there's so much creep. Yep, there we go. The spores, they can just walk in. They can just walk in and get within range and camp the production. So the spores whittle forward. Meanwhile, top right has been found. It does find one of the mining bases. But the production will fall. Now back at home, it's going to be double robo. Oh, okay. Double robo production. Bearing in mind that we need a bait to actually make anything here. Remember, this is not SE2. Like, there's no immortals. You need the bait. What I'm getting at is it's more delayed. It's even more delayed here for Prome. Alright, just moving out. That would be the time. Prome is throwing down this wall of cannons. He's walling up. Does Iosup have enough to break this position here? He will scout with the changeling at least. It'd be close. He's going for it. He's going for it. Reaver production has begun. Making 2 Reavers at a time. Bearing in mind he has to build Scarabs as well. Like carriers have to be built. Oh! I Damage revealed. Iousup's moving in. It gets the Overs here. Catches one of the Hydras. Oh, we just get behind the mineral. Yeah. You just ignore the cannons. Never mind. I was going to say he could just walk behind the mineral line, but he's going to engage with the cannons themselves. This will give time for the Reavers to actually produce. Like, the main base is large enough, we can just ignore them. There we go. Now it gets behind the mineral line. But it does have to respect those Reavers. First shot is going to go up. Up! Yeah, so far just connects with one Hydra. Yeah, there's no targeting on further in Hydras here, so yeah, we just kill everything. The Reavers, they do nothing. They kill one Hydra at a time, better connection towards the end. But there's just not enough here. Yeah, there's not enough here, not enough support. As Reavers, they're holding their own, but now there's no economy. So over time, Iosup can just get his natural up and running, build up a greater army. Prome, at this point, he's huffing some real copium. Oh god. Ah no. Down to 0 economy. Yo, why is it Terran theme? There's no Terran here, Pappy. As Pro moves out with his final army. Let's go. The Fungal does catch a couple of scouts. 2 scouts going down. We're playing with 7 scouts, Pappy. 7 scouts left for Pro. Couple of Reavers. No, I go for my Crable Shroud. I mean, true, does work in this position, I guess. And I would imagine that my Crable Shroud would work against Scarab shots. I would imagine. Assuming the Scarab shot does count as a ranged attack. For the theme. As yo, we're back up to 9 probes. Let's go, man, let's go. He's slowly building up his Reavers. He's got a third Reaver on the way. Now the issue here for Iosup, honestly, is that if he does try to push through this choke point, he's gonna get annihilated by those Reavers. So it is gonna take a little bit for him to gain the confidence to actually move out. Yo, we got Neural on the way as well. Let's go. Get Neural the Reavers. Thankfully for Iosup Prime, he's the one that's going to be moving out. Gets spotted by the Changeling. Iosup, he moves in to intercept. And we'll eventually move out. Ah. Let's go. Again, I'm not 100% certain whether or not my Turbo Shot affects Scarab shots. I mean, that's quite a lot of Scarabs available. We're gonna be seeing 5 shots going off at once. Like that's actually insane. Now, technically, I don't know if you noticed earlier, but Scarabs, they can target the same, like they can be overkill or overdamage. Like they can target the same units, and then damage will be minimized. So depending on how the shots go off, like this might be devastating. This might just all target like 1 or 2 units, and we get minimal damage instead. Where's the cat in the chat? Iosup, we don't have to be so scared, Pappy. I believe. I mean, it'd be easier if he had Ling reinforcements. He has no Ling speed, unfortunately. But with Lings, he can bait out the Reaver shots and close the distance, instead of having them target the Hydras. Likewise, we can try to tech up in towards Hive Tech and work towards Viper production. That'd be another secure way to deal with Reavers as well. Oh, we can be fancy. We can burrow under the army and go mass neural. Ah, never mind. There's an observer. Never mind. There is an observer. Cuidado, papi. Cuidado. So he leads with the Infestors. Get spotted. Yeah, get spotted. And this is what I was worried about. Shots are gonna be going off. They shut down the Infestors. Oof. And these Scarab shots, they should clean up all the Hydras here, and they will. Every Hydra goes down. Again, a bit of miscontrol here by Iosup, leading with the Infestors of all things into detection. So that was a really rough fight. Yo, where are we going? Losing all the Infestors initially. The Reavers, they stand their ground. As I mentioned before, ideally we have Lings here to buffer, to tank those shots, to allow for the Hydras to actually deal damage in the back, but again, it's just purely Hydra Infestor. So the game will continue, by the way. Game will continue. You can't just aim it in, Pappy. Thankfully, we do have the Hive on the way. And we did mention that, especially with the lack of anti-air now there's only 2 scouts, Vipers should be a secure way to just abduct and pick away at the Reavers one at a time, right? Like Vipers, like getting 4 Vipers here would be ideal. Just need that Hive. There we go. Now we have Ling speed on the way, so Iosup, he's recognized, like, oh, I need to, like, refine my composition, get into Ling Hydra, build up more bases. Now we're back here. When not necessarily. Like Prome is still on a 1 base economy. Like, he's mined out of his main. Like Prome, he's still on a 1 base economy. Prome still has no momentum, but Iosup also can't kill him. So we are in a weird game state where Iosup needs to refine his composition. There we go. We have a 1, 2 Vipers on the way. All we need is additional a couple more Vipers here to be able to shut down the Reavers. A couple more. It's pure Reaver. No. Let's go Hydra up into the main. There's a scout on patrol. And the drop is denied. Drop is denied. I just forced to unload. Prome, he's built up to how many? 7, soon to be 8 Reavers. It'd also be with his mutas. True, yeah. I mean, remember, the Stargate was never rebuilt. So switching into Spire instead of going into Muta. Instead of going to Hydra, but I mean, he had to go into Hydra initially. I feel like a Spire transition would be a little bit difficult just because of how gas intensive it would be, considering we already invested into the Hydras, but true, technically could also work. It's a little bit more of an unnatural kind of like tech path to get down here. If we get there. No, the juggling. How many Vipers do we have? Still only 3. The problem with the Viper count currently is that I believe there won't be enough abductions to kill everything. So the Viper count is a little bit low. But it'd been better than nothing. I just drop in. Jesus. And we're setting up. We're setting up for the dive. Iosup, he's maxed out, Bappy. Even without Vipers, I think he'll have enough. Maybe I'm not respecting the Scarab shots enough here, but Iosup, he's maxed. Once again, microing against the Reaver shots. Ooh, does barely save his Hydras. Kills the main base. The micro. And we're just waiting for Iosup to pull the trigger here. Even if he doesn't kill, like, he can still remax, right? Like right now, Iosup, he's hyper fixated on the micro in the main base, so he's still not pulling the trigger. Just send it, Bappy, and then remax after. You can do it. I believe in you. Ah, there we go. Finally he lost the Hydra. So finally, basically he was focusing his entire micro and attention on the drop. The drop gets dealt with, and now he can move his army in. Head straight into the natural. Oh, waste an abduction. Uh-oh. And the abductions, they do matter. No! Up! Does he connect? Barely done. Jesus. Where the Vipers go? Where are we going? Where are we going? No, come back. Vipers, we need you. It should be fine. It should be fine. Gets into the main base, should kill everything in the main. Por favor, Vipers. Por favor. Jesus. Yeah, you can see the Scarab shots get wasted on the Lings. Now they break through the Hydras. Where are the Vipers? Where are the Vipers, Pappy? No! God, it's almost all the Hydras go down. There we go. Lings, they do flood out, and it is still going to be enough. Not the prettiest fight, but GG gets caught. We never use the Vipers, Pappy. We literally never use them. It's fine. GG gets called. And I saw people take the series 2-1. GG. They're clowns, Pappy. They're clowns. GG, well played. Congratulations to Iosup. He does take the series. An interesting series is what I will say. I think it was most fun of game 1. I think game 1 was the most interesting game, just because it did. We were able to see a bit of a more unique build in ZVP. Game 2 and game 3 were a little bit more nonsensical, but it was fine. It was but I appreciated the game on Karis Passage for sure. Did appreciate. GG well played. With that, Iosup does advance on into the next round. And speaking of the next round is when we can focus on some of the other players ahead of us. Here we go. Up next, we have a TVT between Tasia and Honmono. I'm assuming it's TVT. I do know that Tasia has been playing a little bit of Protoss here and there, and playing Protoss against Terran instead. So we'll see if he does end up race switching mid-series or if he commits for Terran. See if he commits into Terran.